Alrighty, so first, I just want to thank Kayla and Stephanie for shedding some light on this organization. Unfortunately, I didn't get involved in this organization, but moving forward, I'm definitely going to do that. Also, I'd like to thank the business department for allowing me to speak to all of you tonight. So tonight, I'm going to tell you my story about something that I had to deal with. It was pretty life-changing, to be honest. What I hope you get out of this, well, that depends. I hope I can at least inspire all of you to dream big and appreciate your lives. To continue to believe in yourself, no matter what obstacles you might face. So my story. Well, that started about 8 months ago. That's when my life changed. I was a senior at UB. The semester was coming to an end. Projects, exams, and homework were all starting to pile up. But there was a positive to all of this. Graduation was a month away. I'd be getting my diploma and stepping into the real world. I was currently interning at a software company doing sales and marketing, and I was expecting to be full-time once I graduated. That's what I thought would happen, but life had different plans for me. One morning when I was getting ready for school, my younger brother Liam noticed a huge lump on the side of my neck. The lump was pretty large, probably the size of a baseball. After seeing this, I was pretty shocked, but I wasn't too worried. My original thought was, I thought it was just a swollen lymph node, maybe it had an infection. Still, we took precautions, and I immediately found myself getting an x-ray. Following that, I was told the cause of this lump was indeed an enlarged lymph node, but they weren't sure what was causing this. They had some ideas, saying maybe I worked out and pulled something in my neck area, or that I was fighting an infection, which I hoped. But they didn't seem too confident in that. So they sent me on my way and advised me to seek a second opinion. So that was my plan, until my neighbor who works at Roswell saw my neck and immediately told me to go to Roswell and start undergoing tests. So I did that. For the next 2 weeks, I was a lab rat, going in almost every day to the Roswell, getting scan after scan, blood work after blood work. I had heart tests, lung tests, CT scans, PET scans, and of course my favorite, the bone marrow procedures. So for all of you that don't know, it's basically you get a metal rod jammed into your bone through your skin to get your bone marrow. It's pretty brutal. It was not the funnest experience, but the fun never stopped for me those 2 weeks. It was tough undergoing all these tests, knowing that in the back of your mind, you might actually have cancer. But that wasn't the hardest part. It was really difficult to keep up with school while constantly being at Roswell every day. I was missing classes and finals were approaching. I was beginning to fall behind in classes. My doctor recommended that I postpone my semester and try and graduate in the fall instead. The dream of graduating on time and stepping into the real world was beginning to seem like something that might not happen. But I didn't give up. I worked with all my teachers individually and explained my situation to them. I worked even harder to try and get assignments in before they were due. I took finals earlier on days that I knew I'd be in school. Sorry about that. Lost my space right here. For projects, I even did a couple on the weekends. I had to really focus and put in a lot of work. But all this wouldn't have been possible if it wasn't for the amazing professors I had that worked with me every day and made countless sacrifices to help me stay caught up on all my schoolwork. If it wasn't for them, I wouldn't have been able to graduate on time. So following all the tests at Roswell, I was told my doctor had a diagnosis. In the back of my mind, I was hoping for the best, and that this lump was just a swollen lymph node and nothing more. That with the proper medication, the swelling would go away and I'd be on my way, done with Roswell and all these tests. But that wasn't the case. My doctor sat me and my parents down and he told me I had cancer. Hodgkin's lymphoma stage 2 to be exact, and that I'd immediately need to start chemotherapy for the next 6 months. As you can imagine, I was pretty devastated to hear this. Why me was the first thought. I didn't know what I did to deserve this. I was scared, sad, angry, and shocked. I didn't take the news well at all. I was depressed at first, but after initial shock wore off, I told myself that even though I have cancer, cancer doesn't have me. I wasn't going to let this prevent me from living out my life and accomplishing my goals. I wasn't going to feel sorry for myself. Instead, I was going to use this as motivation to prove to myself that no disease was ever going to hold me back and bring me down. Between my first couple treatments, it was tough. Chemo takes a lot out of you, physically and mentally. You spend days lying in a bed, not able to do anything. And the worst part is, when you're starting to feel just a little better, you're back in the chemo chair, getting more poisons. You get the worst joint pains of your life. You can't even walk some days. After about 3 to 4 treatments, you start to lose your hair. It all starts to fall out in clumps. You get out of the shower and you're shedding like a dog. Then your eyebrows slowly disappear. It's tough mentally and physically. You're always hurting, you're never hungry, you're at risk for infections, so you miss out on things you always used to do. You have to be extra careful with what you eat. And you see, I'm a big sushi guy. I love California rolls. They're always the move. Add a little soy sauce, and boom, you're all set. But I could eat sushi every day, and that would be the perfect life. But for the next 6 months, I was deprived of my sushi, and that sucked. I was told not to really do any physical activity after chemo, but I'm stubborn, and I didn't listen. So I ended up doing the ride for Roswell a couple days after one of my chemo sessions. And let me tell you, that was not one of my brightest ideas. Halfway through, I was really regretting my decision. My body was struggling, and part of me just wanted to call it quits. I started it, I came here, I showed up, but no harm in quitting. But I couldn't do that. I had to finish the race. Because the truth was, I wasn't just riding for myself. I was riding for those who couldn't ride because of cancer. What kept me going was I didn't have it that bad at all. I could still live my life, still do what I wanted to do. One of the volunteers I met who works at Roswell, she has terminal cancer. She knows that any given day could be her last, but she's probably the most upbeat, amazing person I've ever met. She's an inspiration, always smiling and encouraging people to never give up. She's one of the reasons why I never gave up during my battle with cancer. Even though these 6 months were the worst of my life was actually pretty great. I still had my family always supporting and encouraging me. I was still alive. You don't realize how precious life is until you're in a situation where that could all be taken away. I didn't let this drag me down. I let this motivate me to persevere through anything. So many people battling cancer didn't have the luxury that I did. Some people can barely walk, barely do anything. I was fortunate, and I knew I had a second chance at life. So I made the best of those 6 months. I lived my life the way I wanted to. Cancer didn't control me. Yeah, it limited me, but I still accomplished everything I wanted to those 6 months. And I did it with a smile on my face. Fast forward to today, I'm officially cancer-free as of 2 months ago. I'm working full-time. Thank you, I appreciate that. So, what was I saying? Oh yeah, I'm good now. I'm working full-time in a software company, and I'm loving it. Life's pretty great. Yeah, I still have crappy days, but we all do. The whole battle made me stronger, and it's given me a totally new outlook on life. It's changed my life for the better. When all this started out, I never thought this battle would make me a better person, but it has, and I'm thankful for that. To close with, I just want to say this. If you could take one thing away from tonight, let it be this. Not everything will go your way in life. There will be setbacks. Jobs you apply for that you don't get. Tests you study for that your grades aren't what you expected. Life will throw you these surprises and curveballs. But through the setbacks and the disappointment, I ask everyone in this room to remember this. Life could always be worse. Setbacks aren't the end of the world. Instead, they're an opportunity to grow as a person and become stronger. An opportunity to learn. If you can persevere through the tough times, I promise you that you can achieve anything you set your mind to. With a positive attitude and mindset, no setback will ever conquer and drag you down. Life isn't perfect, but that's the beauty of living. Every day that we wake up is a blessing, Your life isn't guaranteed, so appreciate everything you have, and you'll begin to see that many of the problems we all complain about aren't as big as we make them out to be. In life, you have the opportunity to shape your futures. All of you do. The opportunity to be who you want to be, to choose how you react to tough times. So, you can either stay down, or you can get right back up and keep fighting. The choice is yours. Thank you for your time.